Hi Aries, welcome to your end of May 2023 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here, I almost said 2024. Oh, hot and heavy. It's funny, the two, there we go. Getting a lot of major arcana and that surprise. Oh my God. Shut up, shut up. Look at that. So far I picked 4 out of 5 cards are major arcana. Let's see which one. Okay. Page of Cups as the Heart of the Matter card. This can be someone. Now I see there's like a radiation from the heart chakra, the center of the chest. And I mean, that's how I'm interpreting it, because this can be a card of new love in your life. Uh, there were 2 new moons in your sign, as you probably know, and the second one was an eclipse, was a solar eclipse. So this is a time when you're really, having new experiences as a whole. And of course, cups can be with relationships, but also with creative projects as well as spiritual pursuits. And in the past position, this is a card that is associated with spiritual, and I'd say even like the 12th house, we have the Hermit. So an example of this would be for relationships, the person who has been alone for a while and now has met someone, and it's like, okay, maybe I can finally love again. Kind of taking yourself out of commission or out of the running, and then you put yourself back in there because you really want that kind of connection with someone. But we can't just snap our fingers and order it. It has to be genuine. And the higher message is the Lovers, which is about intimacy. And this is the Light Seers tarot deck. So it is relatively faithful to Rider-Waite in the sense that it depicts it has illustrations that at least are similar to Rider-Waite, if not the exact same kind of figures. But it really speaks, you can see the theme of the nudity, the nakedness, which is not, obviously, it could be, literal, but which would be sexual intimacy, but this is more like emotional intimacy and the spiritual bonding that is more of like an 8th house kind of a deal. Rather than, because Aries is a sign that, lust is something that may get your attention, but love and intimacy is something that keeps you there. What crosses you is the Empress, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, this idea of the love that births sometimes children, sometimes creative projects. So with the Page of Cups, this could be like about creativity and having these ideas, but something is blocking you. And with a love matter, same thing. Something is blocking you. What could that be? It depends. It can vary. Even Aries people tend to be very straightforward, but if you get somebody with the moon in Scorpio, forget about it, because they're going, or even Scorpio rising. You can check my channel. I have videos on both of those placements, and that complicates things because the Aries person becomes more guarded, and that has its own impacts on relationships that are not necessarily that positive. If somebody is guarded when they're in a new relationship, it's going to make it extra hard for them to open up. And that's what the Lover's card is ultimately about. What is coming in is a World card, some sort of ending to a phase in your life. And certainly, this is true because we're starting to have this eclipse season with Aries and Libra, and you're going to see these themes play out in the next 2 years. There's a good chance of that because it can be endings and beginnings, and they're fated. They're meant to be at this particular juncture in your life. And, the more that you can embrace the change as meaningful and something that is going to bring you greater happiness, the better off you're going to be, because it can be very off-putting or discombobulating to have that happen as well. It certainly can make it hard to know which end is up sometimes, but once we make that commitment, we can make it happen. And then the outcome is a Seven of Wands, which is a card of, you see here, this is kind of like, to me, like a self-protection. She's in her little pink bubble of healing. And it is about standing your ground. And this is, wands relate to fire signs like Aries. But you may, another thing too is you may have to tie up some loose ends before you can truly move on from something. And it's almost like declaring your sovereignty or your right to your own perception about a certain thing. So if you have been kind of keeping to yourself because you feel like nobody understands you and you have been learning more about yourself, this is your time to kind of let people know what kind of things that you're currently about, so that you can communicate to them where you're going from here. I'm going to pick one more card just to kind of clarify this message. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. This can be about a new job. This can be a new relationship that's very very solid. But if in the past you have been a little bit too tolerant of other people kind of walking over you, and it sounds weird to say that about Aries, but maybe some of you are going to have Venus in Pisces if your sun is in Aries, or Mars in Pisces, and your moon sign could be anything that is, tolerant of other people's tendency to be overbearing. And I sometimes you might have a fire sign who is very confident career-wise, and in their private life, that's when everything is a little bit jacked up, because they are very generous in spirit, but that can lead to tolerating bad behavior. So the Seven of Wands is really about standing your ground, and the Ace of Pentacles is about accepting the blessings that are coming your way that are new and that connect to material matters and any kind of relationship that is going to stand the test of time. Sometimes if you are, like, if I used to do love readings separately every month. I mean, I do them occasionally now, but not that often. And if I got a lot of fire energy, it might be like some kind of a hot and heavy affair, but not necessarily something long lasting. And so the Pentacles is really about something more settled. And Aries has to learn how to appreciate that, because you might be like, oh gosh, this is predictable. And you might kind of chase after the person who's hard to get, who is unpredictable, and then they show you how chaotic that can be. So, anyway, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.